So I am signing up for my first ever ultra marathon. It is in 6 months. I found a 6 month training program. I found a race that I want to do, and I found one that's actually on my birthday. So I feel like it's like meant to be. It feels very meant to be. The registration isn't open yet. As soon as it does open, I will be signing up for it. Why am I making this video? I'm asking myself that too. I think I mostly just wanted to have a video diary of the process, the ups and downs, something that's very real and authentic. I'm not an ultra fit person. I do run, not these kinds of distances. My normal maximum distance is about a half marathon. I do quite a few half marathons, but 50 kilometer, about 31 miles. Obviously that's significantly longer than 13.2. This video might never see the light of day. I may never publish it, but I thought that if I had enough videos, if I was able to get enough content that I thought would be helpful for other people, I wanted to be able to put something out that maybe would encourage others who are, again, like not a fitness influencer. I have a normal desk job. I'm a software engineer. So most of my job has me sitting for 8+ hours a day. Running is something that I got into initially. I was trying to lose weight after my daughter was born, and then I fell in love with it. So I've been running for a little over 7 years at this point. Really enjoy it, and really looking for a new challenge for my running journey, so it doesn't kind of keep feeling like the same thing. I am also making this video diary series, I think, because I want to kind of hold myself accountable once I put it out there. I've already posted on my socials that I'm doing this, and so my friends are gonna hold me to it and ask how my training is going. So I'm committed, basically at this point, and definitely once the registration opens, which is the other reason I want to register as soon as the registration opens, is like once I've done that, it's set. I got to do it now. The training plan I'm following is Hal Higdon's training plan. It's, like I said, 26 weeks. It ended up being kind of just like perfect period of time because I'm just finishing up a fairly intensive strength training program right now. And as I will continue to do strength training, it's really important to cross train, as I've learned previously, to avoid injury. But I feel like I can only really focus on one thing at a time. And it's got to be either increasing my distance for running this race or increasing my strength. And so I want to maintain strength and I want to cross train, but I'm not going to be looking to do really intensive weightlifting sessions going forward. Today was the first day of the training program. I did his marathon training program. And what I like is that the schedule is very consistent in terms of you run almost every week, you run 5 days, and it's always 3 days rest day, 2 days rest day. He recommends doing the 2 longer runs like on a Saturday, Sunday. It really doesn't work for my schedule, so I'm kind of shifting it just a little bit. So I'm doing my runs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday, Saturday. So Saturday will still be my longest run, most of the time. So some lessons I've already learned from doing marathon training is, like I said, number one, cross training, really important to do some muscle building exercises, weights, or even just body weight exercises, but some sort of strength training for muscles that aren't getting used as much in running. That's number one. Number two, I very much messed up on this last time, stretching. Stretching post-run, post-workout. I had been very, very bad about that up until about a year ago. And then I noticed that once I started doing 5, 10, 15 minutes of stretching after fairly, any sort of intense workout, my flexibility got a lot better, and I stopped having certain pains and injuries that had been bothering me for a long time and I thought were just there to stay. And it turns out it was just, tight this or tight that, like putting additional strain on and stress on muscles and ligaments and everything because I wasn't stretching enough. That's number one. Number two, other forms of post and self-care, things like Epsom salt baths and massages. I can't get massages terribly often, but I think that once a month, I'm hoping is my goal, to be able to get a massage one time per month to really work out some of my tighter muscles. Like my hip flexors tend to get really tight, that sort of thing. And then this one is a tough one, and I still have to work through what this will look like, but nutrition and fueling during the long runs. I have a very sensitive digestive system. I've tried a lot of different things, and most things give me like very bad stomach cramps, or just like I get the stomach cramps and I don't get any of the extra energy. So I've tried things like Tailwind and just horrible stomach cramps. So all the fancy stuff, the goos, the gels, the sports beans, none of those work well for me. And my instinct tells me that it's just too much sugar, too much processed sugar all at once. So I'm kind of experimenting with a couple different nutrition options that I think will give me the energy that I need, but not really upset my system. So one of them is applesauce. I've done a little bit of testing with some, those little like pouch sorts of things that you buy for young kids at the store that have apples and pears and carrots and stuff like that in them. So every couple of miles, I think I've done 4 or 5 miles, trying to kind of just throw back one of those, just a little bit of glycogen replenishment there, not too much. Once I start getting into the really longer runs, anything that's longer than like a half marathon, I'm going to experiment with a combination of that and some nut butter, because the pouches are great in terms of like little bits of nutrition that give me a little boost and no stomach cramping, but there's not enough calories in them for how long I suspect I will be out on the course. Currently my average running pace is right around 9 minutes per mile. It is a trail run, and the first half of it is an out and back. The first half is all uphill, not intense uphill, but you're climbing. And then the second, as you come back, obviously that's all downhill. But I suspect, based on my friends who have done this particular course, that I will be out there anywhere between 5 and 6 hours. Like 5 hours would be ambitious. I expect I'll be out there for probably closer to 6 hours. And having even a dozen packets of applesauce is just not going to be, it's not going to be enough to fuel me. I'm going to be burning a ton of calories while I'm out there. And I don't want to hit a wall and be like out on the course crying, cramping because I don't have enough fuel. So that will be an ongoing experiment. I will be marginally tracking my calories and macros, more to gauge how I feel with different combinations of things. I'm not cutting anything out. There's no cutting out fats, no cutting out carbohydrates. We're going to have carbs, fat, and protein, but using it as a way to kind of tweak what makes me feel my best. In addition, I want to be careful. I know that there is a tendency as you do these really sorts of intense trainings to overcompensate. And the last thing I want to do is add body fat while I'm trying to run for 30 miles. So just kind of keeping an eye on that, seeing how, like, honoring my hunger cues, but trying to figure out what's going to get me the most bang for my buck nutritionally in terms of my performance and how I'm feeling and all of that. I would love to see my overall average pace drop to more like 8:45 a mile on my shorter midterm runs, like anything between 10 and 15K. But I'm not pushing for speed work. Hal actually recommend, like, he doesn't have speed work built into his ultra. He knows that basically with this sort of a race, you're just going to be out there for a long time, and you might have a goal for what time you want to finish in, but what it comes down to it is really race conditions on that day. What are the trail conditions? Are you having an off day? Are you having a great day? I'm hoping I'm going to be having a great day. It will be my birthday, but I'll be nervous and I may not sleep very well the night before. So we're just the number one goal is to finish. Number 2 goal would be to finish within, under 6 hours, and stretch goal would be closer to 5. With my marathon training, I did finish the marathon in 5 hours and 59 seconds. What was frustrating about that was that my pace had actually been pretty good training for it, and then I injured myself. Again, not stretching, not cross training. So gonna keep an eye on that this time, make sure I do the stretching and cross training to avoid the injury. The marathon that I did was in January. So that made training, my longest training runs ended up being like November, December, and we had a lot of ice and snow that year. And so here I am trying to do my longest training runs when there's very little sunlight, because I'm fairly far north of the equator. And also, again, like injuring myself, trying to avoid ice patches, having it mess up my training schedule because it's like, oh, I can't go out this day because there's 3 inches of frozen rain on the ground and it's just a sheet of ice out there. So I am working on having some backup plans for if I have to miss a run, especially a longer run because of weather, what can I do instead? I have a treadmill that unfortunately has never worked since I bought it, and I have to figure out what's happening with that. Maybe I can get it working. Because worst case scenario, I would love to be able to rely on the treadmill to have like a fallback. So I think that about wraps up everything. I won't be posting this video until I have at least a couple other videos created to make sure that this isn't just one weird video sitting out there in the zeitgeist of my channel. Anyway, if you're watching this, thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I hope you're having a great day.